Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel once again today. So today's tutorial is going to focus on a high-low peplum, how to make a high-low peplum. Okay, so when we talk about high-low peplum or a high-low flare, it can be a peplum, it can be a flayed gown, it can be anything attached to anywhere, attached to a sleeve, on a waist, on the knee line. But we are talking about the high-low. Okay, so high-low means the flare is not going to be equal. So like we normally cut our flare, I'll be using this to demonstrate to you. This is a circle. When we are cutting our flare 360, you have your radius in between here. Okay, so this is the radius we are going to cut out, and we have everything the same distance equally. Okay, so it's from here to here is 4 inches. It means from here to here is 4 inches, and from here to here is also 4 inches. We have this equally. So once the radius is being fixed on the waist or on the sleeve or anywhere, on the armhole or anywhere, it falls. The flare falls equally. But when we talk about a high-low, okay, if this is the circle we have in here, and this is the center point of the circle, instead of having our circle at the center point as we have in here, we'll be having the circle somewhere here. I believe you understand what I mean. So it means from here to here we'll be having 2 inches, and the longer part of our circle, okay, which is the higher part, might be 6 inches. You can see that. So once you fix this radius on the waist, you have this part higher and this part lower. Okay, so that is what we are going to focus on this tutorial. So if you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive videos like this each week. Like this video, share to family and friends, drop your comments on the comment section and your suggestions as well. Okay, so to jump into this tutorial right now, we're using a paper like this to demonstrate to you how to cut your high-low peplum, and I will also cut it on the fabric to show you how you can achieve that. So all right people, so in making this high-low peplum right now, I'm going to make a high-low peplum that will be on a waistline of 36 inches. Okay, so if you are making your normal 360 peplum, to cut your radius, all you need to do is to add plus 2 inches for your zip allowance. Okay, that is 38 inches. So right now, if you are using making 360, cutting 360, you are going to divide by 6.28. okay, so that means 38 divided by 6.28 will be the radius we'll be making use for this high-low peplum. So this is the normal 360 degrees, and this is the high-low. Let me keep it the way it was before. This is the normal 360, which is at the center. That is the radius. The high-low, as we have demonstrated, comes below this. Okay, so right now I'll be jumping into this tutorial, okay, using this particular radius of 38 inches for my calculation on the waistline. We are making this on the waistline. So we want to determine how much fabric we are going to make use of, because you don't just go cutting fabric anyhow. To determine the dimension of your fabric, you are going to use this calculation. Our dimension D is equal to L. L is the length of our peplum. That is from the waist where you want the peplum to reach. That is the length. So from here to here is going to serve as our length, and we are going to calculate it up also. So our radius has already been determined as 6. You can see how we did it. We use our waist circumference plus 2 inches divided by 6.28 because we are cutting a 360 degrees. So L plus R, we are going to bracket it and times everything we have in here by 2. So now we have our R, but we have not calculated our L. So to get the L here, remember that our half length is 17 inches. That is from here, from the shoulder to the waist. For the front length, we got 17 inches. But now the peplum is supposed to rest on the hip part. So you are going to use the calculation of your hip right now. From shoulder to hip, I have 29 inches for mine. Shoulder to hip, 29. And if I have to take away my half length, which is 17 inches. So here you can see I have 12 inches. So the length of my peplum right now is going to be 12 inches. But it all depends if you want your peplum to rest exactly on your hip. If you don't want it to rest on your hip, you can come up by 2 inches. Okay, so instead of making use of 12 inches as your length, you can as well make use of 10 inches. Okay, but for the purpose of this tutorial, we are going to make use of these 12 inches because I really need something long. Okay, this is a ball gown. I don't really want it to hang like that, so I'm making use of 12 inches as my length. And of course we are going to cut a high low. So a high low means that the back is going to be long while the front is going to be short, or either ways. Okay, it depends on how it is. The high low we can place at the back and we can place it at the front, but you are going to see how that is going to be done. So I'm going to make use of 12 inches for my calculation right now. So the length of I'm making use of my hip, take away my front length, is 12 inches. So I'm using the whole of 12 inches. So 12 inches, I'm going to add my radius plus my radius using this calculation, this formula. So now my length is 12 inches. So coming back to the dimension again, D is equal to L. L is 12 inches plus my radius, which is 6 inches, times 2. So now 12 plus 6, I have 18. 18 times 2. Our dimension of fabric, which we are going to use right now, is 18 times 2. So 18 times 2, we have 36. So we have 36. So our dimension of fabric is going to be 36 inches. So I want you to note that you know a yard is 36. 1 yard is 36. That is, a yard of fabric is 36. So in other words, we calculated our dimension at 36 inches, meaning that we are going to make use of 1 yard. Okay, so the length of the satin we are going to make use of comes at 60 inches. That is 60 inches by length. Then we are going to take 1 yard, which is 36 inches by 60. So all we are going to do now, for you to cut a perfect peplum, you must have everything in square. What do I mean by that? I'm going to use this particular paper right now to demonstrate to you. So in cutting your fabric, okay, you are going to cut a fabric of length 36. I'm assuming that this 25 is the fabric of my length. I'm assuming what I have in here is 36. Then the width is also going to be 36. Okay, so you can see I have a square in here. So you are getting a fabric of 36 by 36. So once you are cutting your fabric, if you buy the 1 yard, please reduce the length, the 60 inches length, by 36, because for you to cut a peplum, you need it like this. So right now I'll be demonstrating to you. I believe you are seeing what I'm doing in here. I'll be demonstrating to you how I'm going to cut this. So this is my fabric right now, 36 inches by length and 36 inches by width. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to fold this paper by 2. You can see how I folded it, and that is how I'm going to fold my fabric and make a crease line. I'm going to fold it again by 2. Can you see? I'm folding it again like this by 2. This is exactly what I'm going to do on my fabric. I'm demonstrating to you here. So now you can see we have the open part here and we have the closed part. So this part that is on fold, that is the part I'm going to take my measurement of my radius. So what measurement of radius am I taking? I'm taking the radius we calculated, which is 38 divided by 6.28, which is 6 inches. So I'm going to measure 6 inches. Remember, I'm assuming the paper I have here is 36 inches, okay? So I'm measuring 6 inches, 6 inches, 6 inches, okay? So this is going to be the radius I'm supposed to cut. Can you see that? Exactly what we did in our last tutorial. That is what I'm going to do here. So this is the radius of 6 inches from here to here. And that is what I'm going to use to cut. But remember, I told you we are going to make a high-low. So before you make a high-low, the first thing you will do, once we've gotten our radius, you are not going to cut out this radius. I'm making use of this, what I have here, as the full length of my peplum we are making use of, okay? The length of the peplum we are making use of is 12 inches. After the radius, we have a length of 12. You remember, we want the peplum to get to the hip, and the measurement of our shoulder from the shoulder to the hip is 29. Take away the front length, we have 12 inches. So from the waist line, from this waistline right now to the hip, we have 12 inches. And that is where our peplum is going to rest. So I'm assuming that what I'm taking right here, on this paper I have 6.5, which represents my 12 inches. But on my fabric, I'm going to cut 12 inches. Please take note of that. So I'm just using this paper to demonstrate to you. So this 6.5 right now is my 12 inches measurement. So I'm cutting off my peplum like this. Okay? So on my fabric, after determining the length of my peplum, I'm going to cut the length, but I will not cut the radius. Why am I doing this? I'm doing this because we are cutting a high-low. So if you want to cut a high-low, people, please don't cut out your radius. All you will do first, all you are going to do first is to ensure that you mark out your radius as I did. Mark out your length. You first of all cut the length. As you see me cut right now, that is what I'm going to do on my fabric. Can you see that? So once the length is cut, I'm going to open up my peplum. Can you see? We have that rounded figure to it, okay? So it needs to be round like this. Assuming we cut the circle right now, that our radius, we could have had a circle in here. But because we are making a high-low so late, this is the center, the intersection, okay? That is from where we took our measurement. So I'm going to step from the lower part right now. I want to determine how high-low I want this to be. So I want to give it from the tip of this, I want it to be high-low by 3 inches. So you can see I've marked 3 inches. So now this is what I'm going to do. From this particular center point, I will push it like this. This has formed my high-low. Can you see? So you can see that this high-low we are talking about is making one peplum shorter than the other. So you can see that from here to here now, this first peplum is longer by 3 inches. At this point is longer by 3 inches, okay? If you want it 4, you just push it in. If you want it 2, it depends on what you actually want. So once this is done, I'm going to fold back the paper in the manner at which we had it earlier, okay? So you can see that. So exactly what I'm doing here, that is what I'm going to do on my fabric once I cut. So now I'm going to take back my radius once again because I've high-lowed this. Okay, since I have made the high-low, I am now ready to cut my radius of 6 inches. Okay, so this is it. then I can cut right now. So this is my radius right now, which I'm going to attach on my waistline. So I'm going to cut. Can you see that? I'm taking away the radius and I'm opening this paper. You can see it's high-low right now. So one part of it now is lower than the other. You can see this part of it is higher than the other. Okay, that is longer than this other part. So if I have to take the measurement of what I have in here, I have 4.5 inches and here I have 8 inches. So it's actually longer. So now I'll be using this to cut the high-low. Although I've demonstrated this in the class also, but now I want to show you what you can do. So remember, this is a full circle which we cut. There is no radius attached to it, as you can see me turning it all around. Now I'm going to find the midpoint. I'm going to merge at the midpoint. Okay, that is the center line. So you can see I'm merging them together right now. So once that is done, I'm going to lift up for my high-low. So I'm lifting up depending on how high-low you want it to be. Okay, so for my high-low right, I'll be using 3.5 because I want it to be higher by 3. Or I can do 4 inches. Okay, let me do 4 inches so we can stitch with 0.5 and have 3.5 left for it. Okay, so once this is done, I'm going to also fold it again at the midpoint. Okay, so I'll fold it again to make sure it matches up together like this before I take my high-low radius. Okay, so now I'll be taking the radius we got from our calculation, from the calculation of the waist divided by divided by 6.24. So 38 divided by 6.24, because this is what we are cutting 360 degrees. Okay, so we divided by 6.24 and I have 6 inches. So you can see me rotating the 6 inches from the midpoint. I'll keep rotating the 6 inches till I get my full radius. So this is the right time for us to cut out our radius. You can see the high-low difference in there. So I'll just cut out the radius right now. Alright, so I've removed the radius right now, and now you can have your high-low. Okay, so you can see the high-low peplum right now. You can see this is the center part for the lower piece and the longer part. So for the longer part in here, I have 14 inches. Okay, and for the shorter part of it, I have 10 inches. So you can see the difference is just that 4 inches. So I'm going to split it. I'm going to open it up at the center of the highest part of it, because that is exactly how I want my high-low to be. Okay, so I'm going to open it up like this, as you can see. Okay, so the lining part, I'm going to place it on top of it. All right, people, so that is how to go about your high-low peplum. Okay, so be it a skirt high-low or a sleeve high-low, or you are making a peplum or whatever, this is how to go about it. Okay, so thank you very much for coming to this tutorial once again. See you in my next video. Bye.